I saw suddenly a woman and she disappeared into the wall.
Your spirit feels free. You want to soar. Allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to fly.
Many times we've seen miracles.
He was supposed to be a vegetable.
From the boundaries of the universe to the depth of your soul, embark on a journey through the unknown and unexplained as we explore mysteries, magic, and miracles. Hello and welcome. I'm Patrick McNee. Today, we'll see how to connect with your own higher self through an altered state of mind. And we'll take a different look at miracles, those that happen every day. But first, in any language, a ghost story is still a ghost story. In every country of the world, in every language, local legends of murder and mystery abound. Those who tell the stories do so in hushed tones, so as not to anger the restless spirits as they roam the night. The town of El Fuerte in Sinaloa, Mexico, was a quiet place back in the 1800s. It looked like many other colonial towns in the area. With its lovely plaza in the center of town, the one thing that set El Fuerte apart was the Orontia mansion, conspicuously located at the edge of the plaza. It was a huge structure, occupying nearly a full city block. It was lavishly decorated with furnishings from around the world, a chandelier from Italy, furniture from Vienna. It was built to the discerning taste of the wealthiest man in the state, Francisco Camilo Orontia. In 1869, he died, leaving the house and his fortune to his only heir, 18-year-old Adelaida. With all this wealth, you would think the beautiful young woman would have a perfect life. But instead, it seemed that Adelaida was too preoccupied with protecting her fortune for anything else. She became eccentric, withdrawn, antisocial, and so she ended up a lonely spinster in the huge house, rarely venturing outside as the years went by. Then, on September the 26th, 1927, the life of Adelaida took a violent turn. As she slept in her bed, she was brutally murdered. The fortune which had brought her all the luxuries of life was the cause of her death. Her trusted maid, Elisa, confessed to killing Adelaida for her money. It seemed to the people of El Fuerte that this would be the tragic end to the story of Adelaida Orontia. Little did they know that rather than an end, this would actually mark the beginning of a bizarre new chapter. People began hearing unusual sounds and seeing strange visions in the vacant Orontia mansion.
In the town of El Fuerte, many people have been talking about this old house and about the ghost in the house. Many people have seen a woman in the balcony or in some of the rooms and the ladders, but there are some ghosts in this house.
The visions that are reported in the Orontia mansion are always described as a young woman in a white dress, one that could be a wedding dress. She has been spotted in many parts of the huge house. Often she is seen carrying a candelabra of lighted white candles. One night, a local photographer was able to snap an amazing photo in the house. He described seeing a woman in a white dress walk by carrying a candelabra. In the photo, you can plainly see the trail of the candles, and in the center is the faint outline of a woman. Several other people have had first-hand experiences with the Orontia ghost.
En una ocasión venía yo caminando por la calle que está frente al alto.
One time I was walking along the street down by the Orontia house. All of a sudden I glanced over and I saw a woman on the balcony. I recognized her. It was Adelaida-A.
Yo sabía que esa era la única casa donde vivía.
I knew it was her. I knew her personally all my life. There she stood, looking exactly as she did as a young girl, in a long, flowing white gown.
Pues yo sabía perfectamente bien que ella ya había muerto.
But I knew perfectly well that she was dead. I'd been at her funeral 65 years ago. And now I was seeing her exactly as she looked when she was a young woman. I got very scared. I looked again, and to my disbelief, this time she went down and disappeared until I was staring at an empty balcony. Then I became terribly frightened and I ran home.
Los nervios me agarraron y tuve que correr.
I was so nervous, I had to run. Another El Fuerte man still vividly remembers his encounter with the Adelaida-A ghost 30 years ago.
When I was a young man, I used to work in this house, sweeping the floor and taking care of some rooms in this house because it's a large and big house. And when I was doing my work, I heard a noise behind me. When I saw to see what was happening, then I saw suddenly a woman with a white dress walking from room to another room, and she disappeared into the wall. And I was very afraid. And I go very nervous outside of the house, running away because I really was very afraid. And then now the house is empty because the people doesn't want to go and rent or whatever. It's very, very strange.
Well, I can tell you, that is definitely one lovely old house I will not be spending the night in. In a previous episode, we watched one of our reporters, Susan O'Leary, experience a past life regression through the help of hypnosis. This was such an extraordinary experience, we felt it was worth following up on. So I wonder, Susan, can you share with us any insights or revelations that have come about as a result of your experience?
Well, Patrick, even though I can't say there's been a major or profound change in my life as a result of the experience, I can say that there were things that occurred during the regression, circumstances in my past life, which have shed some light on certain ways I behave today. And another interesting fact, during one of my past lives, I was held captive in a landlocked village. The only way I could escape was from the sea. I live by the water today. I don't know, it just sort of gives me a sense of peace and freedom.
Your spirit feels free. You want to soar. Allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to fly.
Many times we've seen miracles.
He was supposed to be a vegetable.
Like guardian angels, spirit guides are with all of us, leading the way through obstacles in our daily lives. But how can we find them? A shamanic guide links us from the earth plane to another reality, introducing our soul to the spirits waiting to teach us.
Since ancient times, many cultures have relied on the shaman or medicine man to alleviate society's ailments. The shaman can cure physical illness, reunite the spiritual and physical bodies, and aid in personal transformation.
Of all the places you can travel, one of the most fascinating journeys you can take standing still. A journey of the mind, whether to find inner peace and bliss, to connect with your higher self, or to reach the outer limits of an altered state.
As the wisdom tradition, shamanism is similar to many religions around the world. Hawaiian shamans, known as kahunas, control their inner power for the benefit of others. While he doesn't call himself a shaman, Rogelio takes people on a mystical journey, a shamanic journey through the pulse of Mother Earth.
I have had my own revelations given to me by Spirit, certain visions and dreams and encounters this way in the mystical. And as such, I'm being guided intuitively as I'd say more of a mystic.
Shamans play in the dream world where the spirits inspire visions. They hear voices and meet spirit guides. In Rogelio's dream time, he has met more than 30 Indian warriors who guide him through mystic journeys.
This area is a pilgrimage place for many people now, as it has been in the past for Native American people, who so honored this land for its sacredness that they would not live here, but came in for ceremonial time.
Bijou joined us on our soul travel. Since moving to Arizona, she has taken many of these shamanic journeys.
I really don't know why, but I began dreaming of these red rocks. So I did come out here to check it out, and I just felt like I belonged here.
There's a magic, there's a mystery in the land that can awaken people that have been stagnant in their everyday world, everyday lives.
While reaching an altered state can be done in many ways, smoking a peace pipe or taking peyote, we used a more common method, music and song. In this altered state, the shaman and soul travelers seek to meet all nature, spirits and animals alike. Rogelio begins the soul travel in the meditation light room. There, he prepares people for the journey to the world beyond the rational mind, using the crystal to clear their energy. Some shamans even embed crystals under their skin where information is stored.
The smoke is a way of purification. It's a teacher plant, it's sage, and used to create a cleansing and a space of purity, because impurity is spirit. The smoke is a purifier, a blessing. As you breathe, imagine the force of the breath enters your forehead. Imagine the breath into your mind's eye. Follow that breath deep and gentle. Places such as these mountains, they hold an awesome silence that can remind us about this inner peace, inner silence.
Does everybody have the ability to find that inner peace, that inner connection?
If they're willing, they have that ability. We all have a connection to the divine. We look to go into the silence, beyond the thought, beyond the body or the mind. And so the sound of the drum and the rattle will help break up thought, break up rational mind that's chattering. So when I drum, this heartbeat helps a person to connect with Mother Earth. This is what the Buddha said. He says, don't look for happiness outside yourself, because if you do, look outside, you'll suffer. So find the mystery within. So make contact with this source. Imagine you're on the edge of a mountain, the Red Rock Mountains. You're like a bird, like an eagle. Your spirit feels free. You want to soar. Allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to fly. Power places awaken us to something bigger than man-made law. It's natural law, natural truth. And in that ancientness of the earth, in her spirit, the sun, the sky, the natural order, which is the great spirit's handiwork, these things begin to remind us and awaken us. Because because it's also within us. We're ancient within our souls. In your heart, give thanks to the Creator, to the Great Spirit. In your heart, feel your thankfulness, your fullness. And know this beauty you feel, this peace, this energy is going to stay with you.
The feeling you have after a soul journey is hard to describe. All I can say is I hope this feeling never leaves.
While wood and stone are common materials, when carved into a sacred pipe, they become holy. Smoking the sacred pipe while praying creates a link between all creatures and the Great Spirit. In fact, the spirits told Nick Black Elk, a famous shaman from the Sioux tribe, to take the pipe and walk the earth to heal the sick. That's only one legend about the mysteries of the sacred pipe.
Many times we've seen miracles.
He was supposed to be a vegetable.
We often think of miracles as some distant, unknown force at work. But isn't it possible we hold the key to make our own miracles happen? Vaulting has existed for thousands of years, and in the Roman Empire was even known as the king of sports. Could the same sport today be providing a formula that is creating miracles? James is autistic. He didn't communicate, literally shutting himself off from the rest of the world. Vaulting changed James's life. Now he will enter into conversation on his own. 4 years ago, James earned first place at the Vaulting National, a competition where there are no special categories for the handicapped. Valley View Vaulters co-founders, Rick and Virginia, have witnessed similar miracles over the years.
Many times we've seen miracles. Miracles between the vaulter and the horse, miracle between the vaulter and the coach, or vaulter and vaulter.
Kevin was only a few weeks old when his head was struck against a door, destroying a portion of his brain.
He was supposed to not live at first, but then beyond that, he was supposed to be a vegetable.
Through the love of his stepmother, Kevin survived.
A 2, 3, and 4. You got it.
But today, vaulting has increased his chances of leading a normal life.
When he first started, we had to put him up onto his knees. He did not know how to use that arm whatsoever.
Amanda was born with water on the brain, and as a result, had no balance or coordination whatsoever. It made even the smallest task difficult.
If you'd seen her when she first started, this is just absolutely incredible.
Vaulting not only improved her balance tremendously, but also her outlook on life. Here, surrounded by so many positive forces, she can just be a normal kid, enjoying life to the full. Rick and Virginia are modest about their work here with the disabled children. They believe it is their mission in life to give these children a better future.
We consider the bright futures, and the sky's the limit for all these kids, and we strive towards that.
Joshua is one of their biggest challenges. Born with a rare genetic chromosome abnormality, this 6-year-old boy cannot speak or walk, yet.
Go right to horsey.
Since he started coming to Valley View, he has improved beyond belief.
Sometimes just working around the brain, going to the body, working on that part, and then sending those messages up to the brain so they don't even have to think about it, and the body just starts doing it.
Rick also told me that vaulting teaches the children to follow instructions. It makes their lives easier, and they don't fight against their circumstances anymore. Anne is another example of Rick and Virginia's work. A brain tumor at 15 months of age caused her to be blind for life.
What she's accomplished out here in about a year is no short of incredible, especially when you see this stand. It's hard enough for us to stand, but when you're blind,
cerebral palsy and mental retardation put Jim into the condemning category of being multiple handicapped.
The doctor said he would never walk.
Today, Jim is the living proof that anything is possible.
I want these kids to be able to do what they and me, or we want them to do, and there's nothing going to keep them from it.
Vaulting not only enables these children to be stimulated physically and mentally, but at the same time it builds their confidence and self-esteem.
It gets the best out of these kids, makes them try hard, or harder than they normally would.
There is Daniel, and Homer, and Sean. All of them visible proof of the miraculous work being done at Valley View. And you only have to look at the smiles to know what a difference it has made to their lives. It isn't as hard to find a miracle as we may have thought. I'm Patrick McNee. Join me next time for more mysteries, magic, and miracles.